Welcome, everyone. This is Pilot Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest with LOTRO and hear LOTRO players. And this week, I'm joined by Krister,
Hello.
Cinders,
Hello.
and Sanswinda.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, one and all. And are you ready to hear some release notes?
Yes.
All right, I'm not going to be negative about them because the last couple release notes have not been that bad. It's been like I've been like and then it's not bad. So I'm going to say I'm cautiously optimistic about these release notes. Please proceed.
I pre-read them because I was like, how bad is this going to be? And so when I saw they were up, I opened it and I was like, oh, this will be fun.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. We have update 45.8 and these release notes. And here are the release notes for update 45.8, released on Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. This update includes support for the fourth Monster Player Reward track, which began at 10 a.m. Eastern on Thursday, November 13th, and is available in the LOTRO store at this time. The fourth Monster Player Reward track will continue until 9:59 a.m. Eastern on January 1st, 2026. So that means the fourth Monster Reward track will be available for the rest of this year. And second, we have fixed a potential runaway message loop inside the skill system that can happen when the game world is under heavy load. This will be visible as a rate limit on skills. And I think people noticed the rate limit on skills as soon as it came up, and they had forgotten that in the release notes. So, oops. In any case, that is it for the release notes for 45.8. So yeah,
well, I'm not prepared for that. Can you just make up some and keep reading?
Oh no, but I could take a look at the update 46 beta number 5 release notes.
I'm excited.
That sounds scary. Even you sounded scared when you said that.
I am so excited. I looked at these two, and I am so excited. So I will wait, and then when Pyleaf gets there, I will cheer. All right, Pyleaf, go.
All right, let us then head on. First of all, I thought last week I had read the one on the Guardian, which is...
I don't know, but read it again. I'm going to celebrate.
Okay, read it again just in case. Guardians now gain a plus 10% max morale when specialized in the Defender of the Free.
Yes! Yay! Okay.
All right. And for the Hunter, Split Shot no longer erroneously generates focus when used. No reaction on that one. Okay.
I don't use Split Shot, but yes. I don't see why it shouldn't generate focus. So, oh well.
Oh well. I think it might have used it at one time in the past.
It used to.
Changed it so that. But
they're trying to make it so that it's hard to get focus, is what they're trying to do. But I don't know why.
I don't know. Localization: added World French, World German, Trade French, and Trade German chat channels. These channels are included in the chat filters for the general tab by default and can be deactivated from the chat UI in the filter menu. So that, I believe, is something that they have been wishing for on the international side for quite a while, because there aren't any longer any specific servers for French and German, which is... So the people there have been sort of missing a place where they could chat in their language, probably without annoying the people in English, and where they won't be annoyed by people talking English while they're trying to talk in their language. So I think it'll be a lot easier, though, if they're all in there. I think that some of them had set up improvised chat channels in the area as a stopgap before this, but now they finally have official chat channels that they could use.
That's pretty cool.
And that's it for the release notes for this round of the Bull Roar. We were expecting that maybe there would be an instance to test, but apparently there was not.
I read a little bit further down, and it sounds like it was mostly just a balance test rather than anything else, but that there is likely to be more specific testing for instances and stuff later on.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. They were originally planning to have an instance test, but I guess they could not have it. Guess with the holiday in early this week and all, they just did not have an opportunity in order to have that ready for public preview yet. So we can still hope that maybe we could get one next week so that we can know what be all ready, because we do want to have a chance to have a look at that before things go live. That's for sure.
Yep.
Now, I did actually go into Bowler this week because I wanted to find out whether or not Mariners were going to be getting Hoot Bolt support, because they're getting ready, because when the update comes out on December 3rd, they're also opening up Angmar and Mordor servers so that they will now be at level 85 level cap, which means Hoot Bolt. So I decided to go and check to see, was Hoot Bolt on board? Do they have Hoot Bolt support there for Mariners yet? And I didn't see any. So
Good. Mariners don't deserve any support.
Thank you, Krister, for your opinion. Anyway,
did you see any evidence of it yet?
So yeah, I've seen no evidence that they are bringing in Hoot Bolt support for it, but I'm hoping that in the next couple of weeks they will, because if there's a time to do it, this is the time to do it. When they're having a group that's going to have their level cap at the Hoot Bolt level in there. So I think the Mariners will be wanting to get some gear there. So Station Games had forgotten about it. It's time to remember it. Bring in some Mariner support for Hoot Bolt, because I think that will probably help them quite a bit. Anyway, that's it for the release notes on Bowler. Maybe we'll have a few more things in the next couple of weeks. Now, the update did include a couple other little things that aren't in the release notes, because they have to add these things in, I think. First of all, probably minimal update or anything like that, and that is to bring an encore to the Spring Festival. So we have the usual link to what's in the Spring Festival and what you can find there, where it is, and all of that. And I suspect that...
Oh.
Cinders, did you have a chance to visit the Spring Festival yet?
I did. I went very briefly on Thursday just to find out if I needed mithril or if I could get spring leaves for Shire Plum Dyes. And Shire Plum Dyes are spring leaves this time. And then I promptly was busy and not home to actually be able to get myself some spring leaves. So I will be spending probably at least part of this next week getting myself loads and loads of spring leaves for loads and loads of dye. And then I'm like, ooh, but Shire Plum Dye or that goat? Shire Plum Dye or that... Shire Plum Dye is going to win.
You take the Shire Plum Dye.
Because I can use mithril to get the goat. So I will probably end up with both. But the Shire Plum Dye is spring leaves this time. So
okay, you have until December 1st.
Yep. And I have a whole extra day off next week. Well, not this coming week, but the following week for Thanksgiving. So I'm
right.
excited.
All right. So we have the Spring Festival. It is back, probably for the benefit of the people living in Australia, where it is actually spring.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It does make sense.
Also, we have a new patrons coffer. And I've heard that this is the last in the series of Harad themed patrons coffer, these arid patrons coffers that we've been getting of late.
Mm-hmm.
It said that this is the last of the series before they go to other regions of Middle Earth for the next few after that. This is the last one, though, for 2025, and 2025 seem to have a real arid theme to many of them. This is the Patrons Luxuriant Coffer of the Gilded Caravan, which is available in the LOTRO store until November 23rd, 2025. So that means we have 8 more days of this coffer being available. And of course, you may be wondering, what do you get in this coffer. Of course, there are, as usual, 3 different levels that are available in there. We have the simple coffer, or the enhanced coffer, and the luxuriant coffer. The simple coffer has 100 mithril coins to the first character. I keep saying the first character you log into after buying it, but I think it's more strictly speaking that you usually buy it when you're logged into a character, and that's the character that gets it. So you get 100 mithrils to that. So you get that person gets 2 packages. One has the mithril plus the other little things that go only to the first character, and the other box has the rest of the stuff, the one that goes to everybody that all your characters are going to be getting forever after you buy this thing. So you get the title Trader. This is a prefix. So if your name is Joe, then I guess your name would be Trader Joe then if you have this title. Then also, yes, it also contains the Patron Simple Cosmetics coffer, which includes a backpack, a really, really blue patterned backpack in there, a ceremonial gilded caravan axe, and the Tome of the Caravan Trade Goods camel. So you get a pet camel, an axe, and a backpack. Then, if you instead buy the Patron's Enhanced Coffer of the Gilded Caravan, you get 250 mithril, 1 lesser elixir of virtue, which is 2,500 virtue XP to whichever your character quaffs that down. And in addition to the trader prefix, you can also get the Caravan Guide title. And the cosmetic coffer for this is the Gilded Caravan pack that we saw before. That sword, the Caravan Goods camel, plus the Gilded Caravan weapon aura, and the Gilded Caravan market stall bauble. And what's interesting about this bauble is that this bauble surrounds you. When you activate the bauble, the stall completely surrounds you. So you look like that you're the merchant at the stall. And the other thing that I found strange is that there are 2 items that are left in front of the stall. One of them is it varies. I've seen 4 different items appear in there. Like one is a bottle of water, which I guess is a valuable item in a desert area. One of them is a gold die. One of them, let's see, gold die about. I think I've seen gold ore on that list. And I forgot what the 4th item was. But anyway, there are 4 possible items that I have seen in there when you go in and do that pack in there. But rather interesting is that actual items in there. And I mean, you can pick up those items afterwards, and then they're in your inventory. So that's why I think this thing has a 10-minute cooldown in using it, so that you don't go and farm this thing forever for gold ore or gold dyes if you really like gold dye. And that is it for the middle level one. And then at the top end one, we have 500 mithril to the first character on there, plus 6 lesser elixirs of virtue, which is a total of 15,000 virtue XP. The title, in addition to Trader and Caravan Guide, there is also the Lavish. And you get the Luxuriant Cosmetics Coffer of the Gilded Tower, which of course includes the camel. Not only the Tome of the Trade Goods camel, which is the pet camel, but also includes two mounts. One of them is the Gilded Caravan camel, and that is shown in the link because at the right under the Gilded enhanced Guild Caravan in there. They're showing someone riding the camel mount, and behind them is the pet trade goods camel. And of course, there is also a horse version of this. It's not quite as ostentatious as the camel version is, but it looks like a nice looking mount that goes with the cosmetic clothing that you get with it. And of course, you also get a couple of pieces war steed cosmetics, a comparison, a headpiece, and a saddle for your war steed. And the Patriots Luxuriant Wardrobe Cosmetics of the Gilded Cavern, of course. And you get this box, which, of course, has a full set of cosmetics. And this is a blue and gold trader's outfit that you could be wearing. So you look like you're a merchant out in the desert. And that's what's available in the coffer of the Gilded Caravan. I don't know how much you guys had a chance to look out at this.
No, but I am intrigued by some of the items that you've mentioned here.
Okay.
I want to see the bobble in action, for instance, now that you've described it.
I have not looked at it yet because I haven't been home and online.
I haven't been home and online. All right. So maybe we'll have some commentary next week about what they found in their coffers. In any case, those are the 3 tiers of the Patriots Coffer of the Gilded Caravan, which, as I said, is the last one for 2025. I mean, they might have an encore one sometime, maybe in December or something like that, to celebrate the season. As far as I know, this is the last new one for the year. And that's it for our game news. So let's head out on the store sales. Cinders, what's on sale this week?
On sale this week, we have, of course, the Patrons Coffer of the Gilded Caravan, available for a limited time in the LOTRO store. It is available through November 23rd. And there is a link, as Pineleaf was saying, to be able to look at that. It's the second of the links there. The 4th Monster Player reward track is also here, and you can also purchase it in the LOTRO store. You can be known across the land and get 30% off of 2,000 plus Virtue Acceleration, 5,000 plus Enhanced Reputation Supply, 100% Mark Acquisition Boost now through November 20th, and the weekly coupon is for free dwarf candles, red times 25, with coupon code Northern Light, now through November 20th as well. And as you could tell, my dog thought this was fantastic, and he definitely wants some.
Northern Light. Someone must have been thinking of the Aurora at the time. Since they were,
I can't imagine why.
Yes. Oh, well. Let's head into our weekend gaming. Cinders, what were you up to?
You skipped Krister.
That's right. He doesn't care anymore.
Because he said work, and mega work. I thought it was empty.
Well,
which was pretty much it. Yeah, work. In the middle of the year, we were starting to get concerned about the slowing pace of work. That has been completely dispelled. Yeah, it's been work has been crazy busy. So I really haven't had much going on this week. So.
Oh, no mega bonk.
Cinders, what have you been up to?
I was say no mega bonk. I got all my LOTRO.
I've mega bonked a bit. Yeah.
You know, that is gaming. I got all my characters caught up on LOTRO, so everybody's where they're supposed to be. Pineleaf and I did some work on Veterans Day, hanging out and getting my Thursday night character all caught up. And then, so everybody's where they're supposed to be, and they're actually, both groups are at roughly the same spot right now, which is on the main storyline, which is kind of fun. Then I played some Stardew Valley, also with Pineleaf, and we got the eggs finally. We've been trying so hard. We got a dinosaur egg earlier this week, and then we got the ostrich egg this morning. So they're currently in the incubators, but I'm so excited to see what they look like and to have more of them and be able to finish shipping everything, and then also I'm like 5 hearts away from, no, not even 5, 4 hearts away from being able to have the last 2 recipes to be able to cook all the different foods. And so I'm very excited about that. And Dinkum, I started a new world because Pine Leaf said now there's trains. And I wanted to build a train. And then I was like, but it would be too easy to just log into one of my games that already has all the stuff. And besides, it's not laid out with a train in mind. So I started a new world. And then I've played some Ark with my sister. And we have been dino taming like crazy people as per usual. And we have an epic, 5-story base or a 3-story base. I've got all the planters going and everything, and we finally set up a drop trap today. And we have brontosauruses, and we have trikes and a stegosaurus, as well as some of the easier ones that you can just tame by hand. So very good week in gaming when I was home, which was mostly Veterans Day. So, Sans, how was your day, or how was your week? Blech.
My week was pretty good. I did some more cooking on Peregrine, and I decided that Glorfindel should be the Chuck Norris of LOTRO jokes. It would be funny.
Underneath Glorfindel's bow is another bow.
Right? Glorfindel hits 11 out of 10 targets with 9 arrows. Glorfindel can kill 2 stones with 1 bird. Yeah. In ESO, I helped take down the Writhing Wall in Solstice, and then I tried to help with the Writhing Fortress when I logged back in on a later day. But the instance I was in seemed to be bugged, and Cat was trying to figure it out, and they're like, well, if we all die and stay dead, but we all have to do it at the same time to reset the instance. I was like, this seems complicated. It's time for bed anyway. So, hopefully I'll get to do that at some point. And then I did some dino taming in Ark. But I lost the Inky I was so excited about taming. And that was pretty sad. It floated off into the water at the last second instead of staying on land. And at first it was in shallow water. But then as soon as you could put taming stuff in its inventory because it was knocked out, it just floated into deeper water and died.
Boy, I know.
So rude.
I think you take pretty good care of it, too. I should have understood that.
Right?
That's the problem with Ankylosaurus with all that armor. They don't swim very well.
I guess not, but
tranquilized.
it wasn't supposed to go in the water at all. Oh, anyway.
There were almost
that was sad.
tears. There were almost tears.
That was almost the end of gaming for today.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's very frustrating when you're like, finally, what do you mean? Why is it doing this? What do you mean?
Right?
What? It drowned?
What?
Well, and she
Oh,
was
exactly.
like,
We need this map.
she was trying to
I
get
was
me
like,
to
if
help
I can
her.
get to eat just one thing, like one carrot, it'll be tamed and it'll be fine. I ate 1 carrot and it was like taming 20%. I was like, no.
And she was trying to explain to me what she needed help with, but all I was getting was, help! Inky! It's gonna drown! And I'm like, I don't even know where you're at. My pockets are full of stuff, so I can barely move. Like, I was trying so, and then I got out there and I was like, maybe we could lift it up on foundations, and then the foundations wouldn't stack to lift it up, and I felt really bad. So
We did lift it up a little bit, but
Yeah.
not enough to give it oxygen.
no, if I had been able to stack like 2 more, it would have worked, but they didn't want to stack, and they didn't stack fast enough. So it was very sad.
Yeah.
Feels like it was
So-
destiny that you weren't going to have that particular one then. You know, all these forces working against it.
I know. It was very sad, though.
We almost
But
lost
then
our
we
Snego
got a
the same
level
way.
145 trike and 2 of its 145 baby trikes. So we got 3 level 145 trikes in like just a few shots later. So that was pretty cool.
Well, the funniest thing about Cinder's mentioning trikes earlier too was I wasn't under the impression you were talking about a dinosaur anymore. So I was like, well, that's just kind of a random collection of stuff. So yeah, we got a Triceratops, some baloney. Then we got a brontosaurus, and then I picked up a hand woven basket. Huh?
Exactly. Anyway, and then
Sometimes
they got
that is
stuck
what
in the
I'd
walls,
say.
and
That does sound like
But-
Ark, yes.
Anyway, it was pretty fun overall, except for the poor Inky. So
My favorite thing about Ark is that you can legitimately use the excuse of if Cinders is out and about and Sans needs your help, Cinders can legitimately go, hey, you know what? I'm taking a poop.
Yes, you can, but that doesn't take long. You can literally do that as you're running, and there were actually a couple times where, like, Sans was
Oh
very
my-
seriously doing something, and then my character was like, I was like,
That's
I
the
am
game.
so
That's
sorry.
what that was the most
did not know
surprising
that was
aspect
gonna
about
happen.
that game. But, oh my
It's
goodness. Just,
pretty crazy. Yeah.
yeah, the humor of, like we were all grouping together, on the map, and you're sitting there talking and something, boom. You're just like, come on,
Exactly.
buddy. Jeez. You like
Exactly.
develop some decorum. That's why.
The plus
That was
key
my
is
week
your
in gaming.
friend.
Finally, what was your week?
All right. All right. I decided to return to my warden because I hadn't played my main warden in a while. Because I've been playing champions, guardians, runekeepers most of the time recently. So I decided it's time to get ready on my warden because I want to make sure I know how to play the warden when the new expansion comes out. So I've been spending a lot of time on the warden in this week. And that's why I went there on Friday Night Fights. So I think my first time that I've grouped with the warden in a little while there. So we'll see how that goes. My Mariner finished the Wildemore epic storyline, and I headed over to Hootbold, where, of course, I noticed the utter lack of any. Well, okay, obviously the traders wouldn't be there yet since I'm just starting Hootbold, but I noticed from the icons on the map that there was no Mariner one there. All right, so that's a bit of a problem because I wanted to see how the Mariner work at Hootbolt. Since I'm working on my Mariner at this time, the entire reason for doing Hootbolt is so that we can have a look at what the armor pieces are for the Mariner. So I'm gonna have to, I guess, work on that slowly and see whether or not when December 3rd rolls around that there are actually any items there. And of course, that's the reason why I was checking over on Bullroarer to see if there were any evidence of them at Bullroarer, but no evidence yet, as I said earlier. And finally, on the board gaming side, I've spent a bit of time playing Spirit Island. And that is it for my week in gaming. If you would like to send us any feedback, you can send it to podcast@lotraplayers.com. The Players Alliance has 2 shows on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We have Lotra Players News, and we record DDO Players News when Drac is available. You can join us for our live shows at lotraplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight. And this is Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.